Hey teammates, welcome back to Bro I Know Sports. I'm your host Chelsea, and this is episode 3. This week I'll be discussing the NCAA championship game. I'll be discussing the NFL playoff rounds. I'll get into some NBA and NFL news, along with my segments In the Zone and Girl Code Playbook. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start off with the NCAA championship game. Indiana defeated the Miami Hurricanes 27-21. This was a great game. I think both teams did very well on both sides of the ball. But Indiana just came out on top. This is a first national title for Indiana. They ended their regular season undefeated 16-0, and they were the Big Ten champions. So they went all the way through without any losses. So congrats to the Indiana Hoosiers. They are the college football playoffs national champions. The quarterback for Indiana and Heisman winner, Fernando Mendoza, is rumored to be drafted number 1. And the Raiders actually have the number 1 pick, and they are looking for a quarterback. Now, Tom Brady, he is a minority owner for the Raiders, and he has voiced his thoughts on Mendoza plenty of times, stating that he loves his game and that he is a great leader. He also was seen at the championship game, so that could be the Raiders' number 1 pick. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But now that college football is over, we still have the NFL playoffs taking place. I will be discussing the divisional playoff round going into the now championship round. So last week I did give you all my picks for the divisional round, and I didn't do so well. I guess I underestimated the number 1 seeds, which was the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks, because they both won their games. The Broncos defeated the Bills 33-30 in overtime, sending Josh Allen home crying. Literally, he was crying after the game.
Extremely difficult. I feel like I let my teammates down tonight.
Bo Nix, he did a great job in this game, and I've always said that Bo Nix was a great quarterback. I didn't choose them last week because we're talking about Josh Allen. He is a MVP player, and I just expected him to, win this game. But that's what I say about these playoff rounds. You never know who's going to come on top. You never know who's going to win, who's going to get defeated. And essentially that's just what happened in this game. I did not think the Broncos were going to beat the Bills. It was a close game, but it was not a good game for the Bills. Josh Allen, I don't think he played a good game. He did have some interceptions, some turnovers, but that's just football. You win some, you lose some, okay? Bo Nix had a great game. Unfortunately, he suffered a ending season injury with his ankle, so he will not be playing in the championship game or the Super Bowl if they do make it. He will now be replaced by the backup quarterback, Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett has only taken 1 snap, and it was in a blowout game against Dallas. So I'm not sure what he'll be capable of in this championship round, but I really feel bad for Bo Nix because this was a great year for him in the team, and I would have loved to see him go all the way if he was healthy. So hopefully he gets well soon, and he'll be back ready and prepared for next year. The next game with the number 1 seed was the Seattle Seahawks. They defeated the 49ers 41-6. This was belt 2. Okay? The Seahawks came out not playing. They came out not playing. Like, they scored a touchdown on the opening kick. So you already know how the vibes were in that stadium. They were the number 1 seed, and they had home field advantage, and it really showed. Maybe I have been sleeping on the Seahawks, but they really showed up in that game. Now, the 49ers, they did have a lot of people that were injured, like George Kittle, which is a huge asset to the team. But yeah, nonetheless, they did not get past the Seattle Seahawks, and the 49ers were eliminated. The next game was the Patriots versus the Texans. The Patriots beat the Texans 28-16. The Patriots did have a good game. Drake May, which is the quarterback for the Patriots, he threw for 3 touchdowns. CJ Stroud for the Texans, he had a horrible game. He had thrown 4 interceptions this game. 4 interceptions is wild, CJ. I'm just saying. That's a little wild. But I don't know. Like I told y'all last week, the Texans, they have a very strong defense, and defense does win games, but defense don't win games when your quarterback is throwing interceptions on the opposite side. So I said that. I told y'all last week that maybe y'all was going to make me a believer. I'm glad I stood strong on my pick with the Patriots, and the Patriots end up winning. The Rams versus the Bears. Every week there is like a great game, and this was that game, okay? This was a great game. I think a lot of people are going for the Chicago because, again, that's a good win for the culture. Like, Caleb Williams and the Bears, they have been sliding by, but it's like a good slide by. Like, they're actually playing football for real, okay? They be down and then they come back. It's like a, dang, they really did it kind of story with them. And I love it. I've been loving it. I've been cheering them on the entire way. I did choose them last week to beat the Rams, but this was a very close game, a very good game. But the Rams came out on top. The Rams were able to hold on just a little bit longer in overtime when Caleb Williams threw for an interception, and they were able to kick a field goal to win the game. So it is unfortunate that the Bears got knocked off, but they had a great run. They had a great season, and I can't wait to see what they'll do next year. Caleb Williams. So shout out to Chicago. I know the city was lit for y'all. Like, they was lit for Chicago, and I was kind of lit for Chicago too. I wouldn't have mind seeing them go further and eventually make it to the Super Bowl. But the Bears and the Rams game set up my next segment so perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and get into my segment called Run That Playback. This is a segment where I show you all like a trending play, a trending highlight that has taken place. And this week's highlight is going to be Caleb Williams throwing a touchdown pass to tight end Cole Kmet to tie the game while they was down a touchdown on 4th and 4. Here's that highlight.
Kmet in motion. Williams drifting, sprinting for space, in all kinds of trouble, putting it up for grabs in the end zone. Kmet! He got it! For the touchdown! They've done it again!
As you can see, Caleb was scrambling to refrain from getting tackled and possibly getting sacked and not being able to tie the game and eventually go into overtime. Although they did lose, that was an incredible play. It just shows what type of quarterback he is. It showed that he was very skilled and he knows how to get himself out of situations that may cost him the game. So shout out to Caleb. I am definitely a fan now, so I can't wait to see what the Chicago Bears do next year. So now I'm going to go ahead and get into this week's NFL championship games. We are down to 4 teams. 4 teams are left. I'm going to start with the AFC, the Broncos versus the Patriots. The Broncos are the number 1 seed, and the Patriots was the number 2 seed. So respectfully, I mean, it definitely shows that they were ranked correctly. In this matchup, I am going to go ahead and go with the Patriots. They have a strong offense, and because Bo Nix has an injury, and he's going to be replaced by the backup quarterback, Jarrett Stidham, which we don't know much about. I just feel comfortable with choosing the Patriots since they have been on this great run. So that's my pick for that game. The second game, which is in the NFC, is the number 1 seed Seattle Seahawks against the number 5 seed, which is the Los Angeles Rams. Out of this game, I am going to choose the Los Angeles Rams, and I'm choosing the Los Angeles Rams because the Rams, they've been here before. I know I'm putting my foot in my mouth by saying this because I was just shown last week that the Seattle Seahawks has a great team, but the Los Angeles Rams, they've been here before. They were the 2022 Super Bowl champs. Not saying that the Seattle Seahawks has not won a Super Bowl before, but I just feel like, you know, the Rams are a little bit more fresher in that area. Now, they did have to put up a fight last week against the Bears. So maybe this could be a more defense game between the Rams and the Seahawks. But nonetheless, I'm still going to go with the Rams. So hopefully you guys do me right with this bracket. So my picks are locked in. I am going with the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Rams to be in the Super Bowl. Okay? So we're almost there, y'all. We are almost there. Make sure to drop your picks down below in the comments. I hope you guys are commenting. Please engage. Drop your picks for the Super Bowl matchup. If you think it's going to be any other teams, let me know. I want to hear your opinions, okay? In other NFL news, I do got to talk about the home team, which is the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons have been in the headlines heavy due to them hiring ex-Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. He signed a 5-year contract and the city went crazy. I told y'all that I don't think that this was going to be a great hire, and that I was worried that this might happen, and this actually did happen. It's kind of like the Falcons does not listen to their fans. The Falcons can't listen to their fans because why would y'all think that this was a great hire? Why would y'all think that this was a great move after we have seen him blatantly disrespect a black man and majority of your fan base is black? We don't tolerate that. We're not tolerating that. And the fact that y'all are so tone deaf and actually hired that man is crazy to me. It's actually crazy. So many people have spoken up about this hire, from celebrities, commentators. Stephen A. Smith even said he didn't think it was a great hire. It's just wild to me that the Atlanta Falcons has heard nothing. It's kind of like they're intentionally overlooking everything that we said bad about this guy. And they brought him on. Matt Ryan is the head of football over there at the Atlanta Falcons. He was hired this year after Arthur Blank got rid of the GM, head coach, and everybody else that was over there, CEO. And this was Matt Ryan's first move, was recommending Kevin Stefanski, bringing him on. And it was said that Arthur Blank invited him to his home, cooked steaks, and hired him. Oh my God. Unfortunately, this is a new hire. This is not something that the city wanted, but we're here now. So hopefully going forward, he can change all of our minds, and he has a lot of proving to do. He has a lot of proving to do, and we are not going to let up on him. I'm going to go ahead and discuss some NBA news. This week, Derrick Rose finally gets his jersey retired with the Chicago Bulls. I just want to shout out the Chicago Bulls. Well, Chicago and period. Chicago is really, y'all really doing it. And you know, I went to Chicago last year. Was it last year? Oh gosh. I mean, we are in a new year. Y'all, it's fresh for me. We just got into 2026. So no, I take that back. It wasn't last year. I went to Chicago in 2024. And when I tell y'all, I had the best time. I enjoyed myself. When I was there, I just kept saying, like, I could see myself living here. I could see myself living here because it was so beautiful. Like, the skyline, the city, the food, the what do you call those things? The homes. Oh my God, what do you call the homes? I don't know. I'm having a brain fart right now, but oh my God, I'm gonna be so brownstones. Yes, the brownstones. Like, I was just so obsessed with Chicago. So shout out to Chicago. But back to what I was saying, Derrick Rose jersey is being retired with the Chicago Bulls, and the Chicago Bulls have done an outstanding job celebrating Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose retired in 2024, September of 2024. And the following year, in 2025, in January, they had a Derrick Rose night where they celebrated him, letting him know that he's going to retire with them and that he's eventually going to get his banner hung up. And this week, it will happen. His jersey, which is number 1, is officially going to be retired. He is going to get a banner hung up in the stadium, and it is just well deserved. It is well deserved. Everybody knows Derrick Rose. The women, we love Derrick Rose because he looks good. He's handsome. The men love Derrick Rose because he was very athletic. He just had some injuries, but I mean, he was the MVP. Like, he was the MVP. He won the MVP and Rookie of the Year. And he is a 3-time All-Star. So after 16 seasons in the NBA, I would say Derrick Rose has an awesome resume. And it is job well done. Shout out to Chicago for giving him the best farewell that I have seen watching sports. And he actually has a flower store called Roses, and I just think that's just so perfect. You know, instead of getting on a podcast, it's me talking about getting on a podcast, and girl, you got a podcast. Like, what you talking about? But you know, it seems like he's not one of those people that, okay, I'm going to retire and I'm going to go and join a podcast. He's actually doing something, you know, with his legacy, with his name, and he started a flower shop called Rosie's, and I think it's in Chicago, where he's from. And I think, you know, if you're ever in Chicago, you should go and check it out. I know I am. Moving on, the 2026 All-Stars have been announced. We now know who are going to be the starters for this year's All-Star game. And for the first time in 21 years, the GOAT, LeBron James, will not be a starter. That is really wild to even say. And as a fact, 21 years is a long time. Oh my God, that's like me. That's my age, 21 years. Like, he's been a all-star starter for 21 years, and this year he's not going to be one. Not to say that he won't be in the All-Star game, but he just won't be a starter. I am not sure that this will affect LeBron. I don't think it really matters to him. I think he's at the age now where he's just, you know, riding this season out because he just wants to play with his son. And I think he's waiting until the other son comes up, which is Bryce. I think Bryce is more so of the best basketball player out of him and Bronny. So I think he's waiting until Bryce gets there to make his final, you know, lap around the league. And, you know, I don't blame him. You can say that you have all these accolades, you have all these achievements, and that you got to play with both of your sons. So I'm not mad at him. So let's go ahead and get into the All-Star starters. So on the Eastern Conference, we have Giannis. He plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. We have Jaylen Brown. He plays for the Boston Celtics. We have Jalen Brunson, who plays for the New York Knicks. We have Cade Cunningham, and he plays for the Detroit Pistons. And lastly, we have Tyrese Maxey. He plays for the Philadelphia 76ers. Those are the All-Star starters on the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference, I'm probably either going to say their first name or their last name because, baby, they got some names on them.
God damn, girl. Y'all got some names on that.
Okay, so in the Western Conference, we have Stephen Curry. He's playing for the Golden State Warriors. Luka, he plays for the Los Angeles Lakers. Shea, which is SGA, he plays for OKC Thunder. We have Jokic, he plays for the Denver Nuggets. And then we have Victor Wemby, who plays for the San Antonio Spurs. So the 2026 NBA All-Star Game is taking place in February on the 15th, 2 days before my birthday. It's going to be in Inglewood, California. So I know everybody's going to be watching that game, but the past All-Star games have not been worth watching. It's just that it just seems like the players are out there just having a good time, and which they should be. You know what I'm saying? They play against each other all the time, and for them to play with other all-stars, it just seems like it's just more so fun for them. But for us, it kind of gives boring. A lot of people were voicing their opinions that Anthony Edwards, aka Ant from the Minnesota Timberwolves, should have been a starter, and I would have to agree. We would have to talk about replacing one of the all-star starters on the Western Conference side to add in Anthony Edwards. And again, we have Stephen Curry, Luka, SGA, Jokic, and Wemby. I am going to have to go out and just say I'm thinking I will replace Stephen Curry with Anthony Edwards. And the reason I say that, yes, I know Stephen Curry is like the best shooter in the league of all time, but he's kind of up there with LeBron James to me, in my opinion. If LeBron James is not being a starter, then Stephen Curry should be a starter. This is not saying that they're not good players. It's just saying that now there's fresh new faces in the league. There's some young boys out here. You know, they're balling. They play great defense. And I think that Stephen Curry has had his time to shine. He has been the face of a league at one point in time. And I just think it's time for, you know, someone else to kind of step up. So out of that list for the All-Stars now, the current All-Stars, I would definitely replace Stephen Curry with Anthony Edwards to be a starter. That's just my opinion. So you guys let me know down in the chat as well who you guys will replace on the Western Conference for Anthony Edwards, or if you guys would even replace him with anybody and say that he doesn't need to be a starter. I don't know. Let me know. Moving to my next segment called Girl Code Playbook. This segment revolves around all things girls, all things women surrounding sports. This week I'll be talking about Miss Angel Reese. I love Angel down, okay? Love Angel down. I remember when she first came into the league and she was going up against Caitlin Clark. I booked a ticket and flew to Indiana because Caitlin Clark, she plays for the Indiana Fever, just to go see Angel Reese play. Like, I am obsessed with her as a person, as an athlete. She is just like literally that girl. Like, the definition of that girl, Angel Reese should definitely have her picture under it, because my girl has been out here manifesting everything in her life. Okay, you hear me? Anything that she wants, she says it and she gets it. And in this case, she stated last year that she wanted to be involved in the season 2 of Hunting Wives. And sure enough, she has now secured a role in the Netflix series Hunting Wives season 2. She has already started filming, and her character name is Trainer Barbie. So it sounds like she'll be familiar with her role, being that her name was Bayou Barbie when she played for LSU. I can't wait to see her in this, you know, next chapter of her being an actor. I think it's cool that she's trying different things and not just subjecting herself to being a basketball player. She was also the first professional athlete to walk in the Victoria's Secret runway show last year in October, and Miss Angel Reese killed it. She was beautiful, gorgeous. Makeup was tea, body was tea, and she just looked amazing. And it just made sense for her to be a Victoria's Secret angel when her name was Angel. So I do love and enjoy seeing her do different things. She's flourishing in all areas. Currently, she hasn't been playing for Chicago Sky because she had an injury, but I think when it's time for her to come back, she definitely knows how to, you know, get back to being the good athlete that she knows how to be. So shout out to Angel. She is our Girl Code Playbook topic this week. Moving on to my next segment. This is called In the Zone. This is basically the hottest tea and gossip that's going on in the sports world. This week I'll be talking about the Buffalo Bills owner, Terry Pegula, as he discusses the firing of the head coach, Sean McDermott, in his decision to draft wide receiver Keon Coleman. Now, the Bills owner was having a press conference with the GM, and the press was basically asking the GM questions about Keon Coleman when the Bills owner interrupted and stated that Keon Coleman was not Bean's first top pick, but he was being a team player because the coaching staff at that time, which clearly he's talking about Sean McDermott, stating that they were adamant that Keon was going to be a great player and that, you know, the Buffalo Bills should pick him up. So Brandon Beane should not be the one getting criticized for that pick. Mind y'all, Keon is still playing for the Buffalo Bills. He is on a rookie contract right now. So the fact that the Buffalo Bills owner is sitting in on a press conference trying to put out a narrative that the GM didn't have a say-so or he didn't want to choose Keon and that it was solely based on the coach kind of just makes him look like an a-hole. It does. It kind of makes him look an a-hole because, one, you are an owner. Why would you even be discussing this in a press conference, especially when that player is still on your team? This player plays for you. He just scored a touchdown in the divisional playoff round. So I'm kind of confused as to why you are speaking so negatively about a player on your team when he's still currently on your team. It just looks, and this is what I'm starting to realize about some of these GMs, these owners. Y'all are talking way too much. And y'all are starting to show y'all hands. And when I say y'all hands, it's starting to get a little racist, okay? Y'all need to be quiet. This is not a slave show. This is not I don't know what's going on with y'all disrespecting these players, but I think it's starting to get out of hand. And y'all players need to start speaking up for yourselves. I know it's not the right thing to do to, you know, go back and forth, but start standing on business with them. Just because they have your contract, that does not mean or give them the right to disrespect you. Okay. Coleman's performance this season was a bit underwhelming. I think everybody had high hopes for him, being how he played in college, but sometimes it takes someone a moment to kind of warm up, especially transitioning from college to NFL. And I think this is the case for Coleman. Coleman has had 38 receptions, 404 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns in 13 games. I mean, it could be a bit better, but they have already compared him to the other wide receivers in his class, and he's essentially doing a bit better than all the other wide receivers. So for your owner to sit and speak negatively about you and who chose you and who decided to draft you and pick you up, it just gives a slap in the face. And the rumor is that Keon Coleman and his agent is supposed to be having a sit down with the Buffalo Bills to discuss maybe getting him up out of there. Because at this point, if you're going to disrespect me, why am I here? Why would I want to continue playing for your organization? It has been rumors that he could possibly get released from his contract. And again, he might not get released because he's still on a rookie contract. But if he is able to get out of the contract and the Buffalo Bills does release him, it is rumored that he could possibly go to the Chicago Bears, the Kansas City Chiefs, because those are good places that fit in with his skills. So I'm not sure how this is all going to play out. I will say that I just do not agree with the Buffalo's owner, Terry Pegula, speaking so negatively about a current player, regardless if it was a rookie or a vet. There's no reason why you should be speaking up in press conferences, taking over questions that were not intended for you to make it seem like this player is just a horrible player and you guys never intended on picking him up and it was a coaching decision. The coach does not make the final decision. Let's be real here. everybody knows that the owners and the GMs has the final say so. So yes, maybe Coach Sean McDermott put a good word in for Keon, but he couldn't have got drafted without a yes from the GM. Okay, so for you all to shift the blame on Sean is kind of wild. All in all, I'm wishing Keon Coleman the best. I hope that this situation does not affect his mental, because with him being a rookie still, it kind of like could maybe question him going further, like, oh, am I not good enough? But if it was me, this would turn me into a beast. Okay, you gonna sit up there and talk about me in a press conference and think I'm gonna come back to your organization and put up some numbers? I mean, if I don't have no choice, yeah. But if I do get released from that contract and I'm able to go somewhere else, oh baby, I am finna show out. Oh baby, I'm finna show out. Y'all ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. I'm gonna be dressed like Saquon Barkley when he left the Giants and went to the Eagles, okay? I am going to ball out. And y'all are going to see it every time y'all play me. Every time y'all play me, I'm going to show up. And I'm going to make y'all eat y'all words. So hopefully this will be Keon Coleman's story, and that next season he's able to do much better than he did this season. So that's it for that segment in the zone, and that is it for this episode. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. I always appreciate the love and support. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You were tuned in to Bro, I Know Sports. I'm your host, Chelsea, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, teammates.